Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is an X670E gaming motherboard. You see two PCH chips, very nice. AM5 socket with an onboard postcard, so that's gonna make it easy for the customer to further diagnose it. Now it is here for the socket replacement and nothing else. This is not a repair service, this is the socket replacement service. So please don't confuse those two. I've had one customer that did confuse those two and was very unhappy that the board didn't work. But yeah, I don't test it, I don't do anything. You just get a new socket replaced for $50. $50 shipping included. So if you need this kind of service, ship the board in, and that's the entire cost, right? That includes the socket, that includes shipping, everything, flat fee. But you do need to remove all the heat sinks and everything. If you want to keep the heat sinks on, and you might, it's not a big deal. Maybe you're not comfortable removing them, or you don't have the ability to remove them because the package is coming from somewhere else and you're not gonna have it until I ship it to you. It's fine, but in that case the price is a little higher because mainly the shipping is more expensive because the majority of the weight of the board is in those heat sinks and stuff. So if it's disassembled like this, it's a lot cheaper. That's why I can afford it. That's why I can offer to ship it to charge $50 with shipping included. Now there's one more thing I always forget to mention it. The Wi-Fi card can also be removed. It's not a big deal, but you just remove those two screws and you remove the card. All right, unfortunately we have electrolytic caps. That's too bad because we have to cover them and they're pretty close to the socket. So that's not ideal, but that's fine. We have to cover the memory slots and the power. We have two full 4-pins or 8-pin connectors for the V-core. A lot of coils and pretty big coils. This can pull, Ryzen 9, no problem. The highest versions. So this is pretty decent board. I would like to see it working as well. And we have nice graphics in the back. We're gonna use Rework Pro 1.1. Unfortunately, I haven't released this version yet, but I really want to make sure that there are no bugs or anything. I don't want you to for your work to suffer because I released prematurely or too early. That's why it's taking a little longer. We had 2 more sales recently, or 3 relatively recently. So thank you very much for your business. And the new versions are coming out pretty soon. I'm sure you'll be happy, especially with the last update. You'll see it on the footage, but we get the markers, the events. You can now see on the graph. So when you save the graph, you see when the power turned off, which step kicked in when. It's very useful in my view. The main benefit, I would say, of Rework Pro is that you can easily review the entire process. You can learn a lot more than when you just use the controller by itself. Right? You can still do that, but you're not going to learn much, you're not going to see much. If you actually have the ability to see the history of the entire process, you can draw a lot of conclusions. Alrighty, let's protect everything on the board, put it back on the heater. It's been heating for a couple days now, and let's get the socket replaced. We're going to use loads. Loads are a little they require lower temperature because this is leaded solder on the socket, and likewise they melt very easily. So if you use loads, there should be a profile by me in the database. Once you download the software, the one for loads and the one for Foxconn sockets. Foxconns are coming with a lead-free solder, and they use reinforced plastic, so they don't melt easily, but also the solder on them doesn't melt easily. So you know, it's kind of whatever works for you. I have plenty of these. I also have Foxconns. It just, you know, I just grab whatever from the box. I have a full box full of these. That's why I can offer $50 replacement, because I still have my stock from before the tariffs. It would be a lot more expensive now. All right, let's get to it. Alright, so this was interesting because I did not see the socket dropped, and I'm not sure what's up with that. Typically I see when the socket reaches the temperature, I see it just kind of dropping and aligning itself. Now this one, I had to do a few cycles. I didn't want to increase the temperature too high, but I did go to 215, which is 20 degrees higher than I normally go. But normally sockets just drop. This one wouldn't, and I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it is shaped differently, maybe I missed it. Hard to say, but eventually I just started tapping on it, pushing on it, and it would return to its position. I tapped it from two sides. So it's definitely, it was flowing, but I don't know, it just kind of behaved differently than I'm used to. And especially load sockets, they should drop at 195. Typically that's when they drop. If you go to 220, you will likely do a little bit of melting, not to mention burnt flux. I also used probably a bit too much flux. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just, you know, waste of flux. Some people say that if you put too much flux, the two balls can fuse together. I've never seen that happening, never happened to me, so I don't know, maybe, who knows, but I wouldn't expect that. Other than that, it was pretty good, but as you can see now, it's working. At the bottom of the screen, you see the Rework Pro here, right? But did you see what was happening? And I replaced the cable, and I checked with the same cable on the other computer, and it's fine on the other computer. And this one is doing that. And it looks like it's only happening when the machine is on. It's like the machine is interfering with the signal or something. I have to figure it out, but I'm pretty sure it's just the poor HDMI port on my computer. I already put some deoxide on it, and maybe that will help. We'll see, because now it's working correctly, so it's weird. But you can see over here, this one, and this one. I kept restarting it, right? Doing the putting it on 195 and giving it another 45 seconds, another 60 seconds. And I discovered a bug. I'm not sure when it came about, but some steps were not uploaded to the machine. I have to investigate that, so I'm glad I did not release this version. So there's going to be still a little more weight on this version that I'm using right now. I just want to make sure that there are no bugs. We have another board, but this one came in with all the heat sinks and everything. It's a beautiful board. Check this out. It's a beautiful board, but look at the amount of all the heat sinks and stuff. It's really heavy. So yeah, I'm gonna have to charge more for this one. So it's $50, but if you send it like this one, no heat sinks, no CPU bracket, ready to be worked on. This one, it's just unnecessary time consumption on this. But as I said, it's not a big deal if you send it with the heat sinks. You just have to pay more. And this is also X670E, but this one's from ROG, and this one, I don't even remember which one is this. Doesn't really say over here, doesn't matter, but it's pretty much the same board capability wise. Yeah, it's awesome. This is beautiful board. Alrighty, that'll do for now. Thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you, and I shall see you in the next one.